Slow, deliberate, capturing. The storm wasn't just outside the window. It was in her eyes, a fortress of ice, until a single whispered question melted it all. MC1. Narrator's voice becomes tense, observational. Leo watched the sedan skid, a silent ballet of terror on the glazed road, before it disappeared into the swirling white. His own breath caught, a memory flashing. Not of his wife, but of the emptiness she left behind in their quiet house. Yet his feet were already moving, plunging through deepening snow. He ran not toward danger, but away from the guilt of standing still. He had learned that inaction was its own kind of violence. He reached the car, its shape just a shadow under a fresh shroud. The driver's side window was a spiderweb of cracks. Inside, a woman was slumped, a trickle of blood stark against her pale cheek. Her expensive coat was soaked through. Leo wrenched the door open against the groan of metal. Her name was Alara Vance. In another life, she commanded a tech empire from the top floor of a glass tower. Here, she was just a woman, shockingly cold and frighteningly still. Pause, then as a quiet, rhetorical thought. Could a person who built digital worlds die in something as simple as snow? With strength he forgot he had, Leo lifted her. She was lighter than he expected. The wind stole his breath as he turned toward the only hope, a ranger's cabin, half remembered from a hike with his daughter, Sophie. Would it even still be there? It was. The cabin was a frozen capsule of dust and old wood, but its walls held. He got a fire going in the potbelly stove, the orange glow painting the room in fragile, dancing light that as warmth seeped back. Alara stirred. Her eyes opened, not with the sharpness of a CEO, but with the wide, unguarded fear of a lost child. He offered her water from his canteen. Her hands shook so badly he had to steady them. The simple, human contact seemed to startle her. She pulled a rough wool blanket around her shoulders, but the shivering wouldn't stop. The cold had sunk its teeth in deep. As dusk painted the windows gray, the tremors worsened. Leo added another log to the stove, but the chill was in her bones now. That's when she spoke. Her voice so thin it was almost part of the wind. Voice shifts to Alara's weak, trembling whisper. Would you mind sharing the blanket? It wasn't a proposition. It was a confession of utter vulnerability. Leo paused. The last person he'd held close was his daughter during a thunderstorm. This was different. But survival has its own rules, far older than social ones. He nodded, opened his own thicker blanket, and let her lean into his side. Her head found the crook of his shoulder. For a long time, there was only the sound of the fire and the storm's dying rage. Then, in that quiet, her fortress cracked. She spoke into the dimness. She hadn't taken a breath without calculating a return in a decade. Her father's legacy felt less like an inheritance and more like a cage of her own making. As Alara, voice raw and quiet, I think I forgot how to be a person. Quote, Leo didn't offer solutions. He told her about Sophie's laugh, about building birdhouses that were always a little crooked, about the peace found in small, unmeasured acts. He wasn't a hero. He was a man who had learned to mend broken things, one gentle piece at a time. The blizzard passed, leaving a world of blinding, silent white. Using the reflector from his backpack, Leo signaled from a clearing. A rescue ATV eventually found them. At the medical checkpoint, Alara was efficient again, giving clear answers to the medics. Leo prepared to slip away, back to his small, predictable world. But she found him before he could leave. The polish was back, but her gaze was new, softer. She thanked him, not for the rescue, but for the silence. As Alara, voice firm but grateful. You didn't ask for anything. I hadn't realized how rare that was. He smiled, shy. She asked if she could someday thank Sophie, too, maybe see those birdhouses. He said yes. Their lives were maps drawn on different scales, but for a moment, in the snow, two lonely coordinates had overlapped. And sometimes that overlap is enough to change your entire course. Quote, if this story reminded you of the power of simple human connection, please like this video and follow Human Soul Kindness for more. It helps us share these moments of light.